Welcome to TiffDoesLoans podcast. All right, so we are going to do money market mindset talk today with Daisy Murillo and Castro. Hey. Oh my God, Daisy, you're so cute. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, thank you.
I know. I was like, Tiff, you have to dress like cute tomorrow. I was like, Daisy's going to be coming in. She's always the cutest. I took her to some event once and she came in like this cutest little dress, like taking pictures all over the place. I was like, okay, stop. She is adorable.
Thank you.
How are you?
Oh.
Yeah, both of you.
I'm doing well. It's raining. I love the rain.
Oh my
I feel
gosh.
like a lot of people don't really like the rain, but
do
I
not.
thrive in the rain. So
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
I'm the opposite.
I'm drowning in rain right now. Like, I can't do it.
I
like the
hate
rain?
No.
I love the rain.
I ran this morning in the rain
I saw
because
that,
it's
yes.
Friday
Mhm.
and I run on Fridays
Mhm.
and it was terrible. It's like the first 4 miles is cool because I was going the other way,
Mhm.
but then it's like, man, the like turning around when it's like this, especially in
Mhm.
Huntington, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
On the way back. So
Yeah, you're
I'm
getting
not
it
a
like
fan.
against you, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's like all going to my face. I'm just happy. I've definitely ran in worse rain than that, but
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's
Yeah.
aggressive.
I mean, it's already hard when you're running. I know because I
Yeah.
also like to run.
Yeah.
Not as intensely as you.
Yeah.
You go like
I'm
fucking,
obsessed
like
with it,
10
yeah.
miles. I can
I'm
barely do
obsessed
3.
with it.
But
One.
yeah.
3 is good. 3 is good.
Whoa.
All of it is good. I read a statistic once that it was like nobody, like people over 36 won't run a mile. Like it was like something high, like 90% of people, or maybe like 80, but they won't run a mile
Mhm.
for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. It's
And
kinda
I'm
crazy.
like, wow, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Like that's crazy. I
Yeah.
ran 35 miles for fun on my birthday.
That's great. I could
That
not.
is
I
crazy.
could not. I
That
could not.
was a bit much.
35.
But I just like, yeah, cross it off the bucket list. Now I ran my
Mhm.
age. I won't do it again. And
One
it's like
and
I'm
done.
only gonna get older, so I
Exactly.
might as well have just did it at 35
Uh-huh.
rather than like 40.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
Yeah. Well,
Then I would have been 5 years older and had 5 more miles.
Yeah.
Let's not.
No. I think 35 is good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And okay, so kind of to start this off, we were just talking about, you know, in this market, and just like entrepreneurship, what you have to do to keep that right mindset,
Mhm.
you know, that balance from like grinding, but also like staying spiritually connected. Or like another guy like mentioned like being in alignment,
Mhm.
you know.
Yes.
So what do you kind of like do for that, or do you kind of balance those?
Yeah, so I have recently been getting into more of my relationship with God again. Last year I was very absent from it. Once my dad passed, I had a lot of like resentment
Yeah.
towards God, and so I was distant from him for a whole year. And you know, this year I was like, you know what? It's time for me to rekindle that relationship with God. And I do feel like one of the reasons why I had a very difficult year last year was because I was very absent in praying, going to church. Just overall, my connection with Him
Yeah.
was just not there. And I do always feel that, you know, when doing what we do is very stressful. You know, we're dealing with multiple people,
Yeah.
different personalities. We're running numbers, we're running comps, you know, trying to make sure that it funds, trying to make
Yeah.
sure that it closes, making sure that your client is happy at the end of the day. And we need to all have that balance as far as making sure, you know, that we're still being taken care of, because we can't help those that are needing our assistance
Yeah.
if we are not okay with ourselves, you know?
100%.
So I make sure to go to church every Sunday. I am in a Bible study, and I'm constantly talking to Him, even
Yeah.
throughout my day. Sometimes I make a joke, and I'm like, "Are you tired of hearing from me?" Because I'm always talking to Him, you know. But yeah, I would say that's kind of how I
the big
keep in touch with everything.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I love that you got back on your journey.
Yeah.
My journey started last year.
Okay.
So I wasn't really raised in it. I always believed in him. I just didn't have, I didn't really have like a relationship. It was never really pitched to me like that. But yeah, it's amazing. So I do a lot of the same. I've been going every Sunday for a year. I just hosted a Bible study. So.
Oh, nice.
So I do have that. I got, I got baptized in June.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations.
So that's been, that has held me. I do meditation and prayer every morning. So
Okay.
I don't tap in like all day, but I give so much like at that time in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, I don't go to church or I don't do this and that, but I feel like a lot of people feel like they have to do everything. But as long as you have that connection with God, whether that's 5-10 minutes a day, you know, and you're worshiping Him and you're talking to Him, you know, that's between you and Him.
Yeah.
Some other people may do it at the end of the night, or they may do it, you know, once a week. Everyone's process is different. Exactly.
Present.
Yes.
I journal a lot too to keep that connection. Like the more I journal and keep my mind clear, the more like aligned or connected that I feel.
Yes.
And just like moving in the right direction.
What about you, Carl?
I just really try to stay tapped in with who I am. Like I was telling her, I like to root myself back because sometimes I do get lost and get kind of like hard on myself, I would say, and say like, what's going on? Like, what's like Michael was saying, we gotta get back to our roots and our reason.
Like our alignment?
Yeah.
Our alignment, because if not, you'll get off course and be like, what's going wrong with my business right now? So once I get back in alignment, I'm like, okay, this is where I started, this is how I started, this is how I got successful in this business. I just gotta get back to that place. And so, like I was telling her, December was that month for me where I was like, I have to, because I was just on a high kick. Holidays came around, everyone just like, we're not buying right now, we're just gonna wait till after the holiday season.
Yeah.
Elections came around, we're like, I wanna wait till after elections. Elections
it's like always something.
Elections are over, and now they're like, I want to see what's going to happen with the market. Yeah. So I understand all that. So that's why I was like, you know what? I got to house flipping. So I had to realign myself, figure out, you know, what I wanted and how to get what I wanted. So just, you know, staying true to what I started.
Yeah, I think it's really important. And I think like, entrepreneurship itself, like you got to invest a lot in yourself. And if you're going to continue to keep growing or just to live up to, you know, your purpose and, you know, what you're like to your full potential, because that's what God wants. You know, God wants you to have what you desire, yes, because I feel like they're there for a reason. But also there's like this loads of like potential, I feel like, so.
It's funny that you say that because I, to my agents, you know, every time I see like a little quote on Instagram or something, I'll like send it out to them. And last week I sent one, I don't remember exactly what the quote was, but I said, hey so-and-so, hope you're having a great day. Sending this over to you. Just a friendly reminder that if you have those certain thoughts in your head, God placed them in your head for a reason. So don't shine away from it. You know, and someone once told me it's okay to have fear, but don't let fear have you. Yeah. And I sent it out, and so I resonate with what you said. Yeah.
I love that. I'm always sending, like, my algorithm, I'm very intentional. Like, you know, just like my discipline outside or, you know, is the same, like, with my algorithm. So it's like all God. It's pretty much all real estate God. I have some of that. My brother sends me a lot of ridiculous things, and I even like hold myself. I'll always watch them because they're hilarious. Yeah. But I cannot. I will not click them. But I'm always getting those, like, you know, their prayers or trying to send all that stuff out. Yeah. And just any like motivation, affirmations. I think once you have that cycle, I mean, I'm very intentional with that stuff too. You know, whatever goes in your mind.
Yes.
like it's really important what you're reading, writing, and once you start to see, you know, even the people who you're around.
I wish I was a reader.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I did
that's
audio.
something I can't. As much as I'm trying to get into it, I can't do it.
The reading, well, audiobooks?
Even then, like, I'll listen to a book and something will happen where, like, now my mind is thinking of something else, and then I'll tune back in and I'm like, what did he just say? And
Yeah.
same thing when I'm reading, I'll be reading and my mind will go somewhere else and I'm like, oh, what did I just read? And it's funny because I'm reading it, but my mind is not there.
It's not.
And I'm not grasping it.
See, I finally clicked a couple years ago. I used an audiobook. Yeah, no, use the pillow.
I'm cold.
And it's always freezing in this place.
Yeah, I'm like
I literally, we come on Tuesdays, I know. On Tuesdays, we come like bundled up. Like, I don't know what they're doing here.
Yeah, 'cause
So
it's raining
now
too,
we
so
just
I'm like,
dress accordingly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's still summer in this building. I don't know what's going on.
You're like with your snuggies.
Yeah. Okay.
But audiobooks are a
Yes,
good one
the
to help.
audiobooks, like, it clicked for me. I finally, like, listened to one in 22, like, at the beginning of the year. And it finally just, like, wow, this is how I learn. And I just went ham. Like, I do have an addictive personality, so I just started, like, just eating them up. I've done, like, over 100 audiobooks at this point, but I would do it, like, while I'm walking. So I added, like, walks around my neighborhood. And that, I would do that in the morning. So then I was getting to work, like, just, like, with a whole different mindset. Like, I felt like I was learning. I was walking in nature, and it was just, like, my vibe was starting out so differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely try some audiobooks, maybe, like, walking or something else.
It depends who's narrating though too, because sometimes I'll be reading
Some of them are bad,
audiobooks
yeah.
and I'm like,
What do you mean?
if the person narrating is just so mundane when they speak, it's just like bores me. And I
Yeah,
can't.
or, like, thick accents, I can't do it.
Podcasts
I
are
was
one that I
surprised.
love to learn from because it's just interactive. You have two people talking, this kind of format, and keeps me intrigued.
I like the,
Bouncing ideas back and forth.
yeah, like Lewis House, his,
School of Greatness.
the School of Greatness.
Yes.
He is, like, he's probably one of my, almost, I guess, role models in a sense. But I designate, like, kind of my podcast the way that he, you know, I would see how he would, like, let them talk and how he would listen and how he would still, like, put his stories in and stuff. But I feel like I go there when I am in need of anything. Like, if I need a new author, if I need a new, because he has, his is really good. Like, he has all the best,
Do you know a realtor by the name of Kevion?
I don't know,
No, he's from
Sounds a
Newport.
little familiar.
Yeah.
Kevion.
Yeah. He's a really successful agent out here, and he does
What do you use for escrow?
Kevion, if you can hear us, who's your lender?
I believe it's Newport. I believe he's in Newport, but he has a Monday call, I believe, and everyone hops on Zoom, hears him talk. He interacts with everyone, and it's pretty good. So
Who does he, wait, with who?
I want to pull up my phone and check.
Like
Because my broker
buyers?
put me on to him, and
Oh, like he's a coaching.
yeah,
Okay.
Kevion.
Interesting.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
nowadays with the
He's
Zoom.
with Case Real Estate.
I have never seen him, no.
I believe it's Newport he's in.
I don't think I've ever seen Case Real Estate.
Yeah, no,
Did you?
he's-
Really?
Really?
I
Is it?
believe.
Oh, are they over here?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's him.
Not pretty good. They're good. Sorry.
Send me your escrows.
I
It's like, who's your escrow?
No, but like he does a call and I love it. Like the
He's
gems
really
he
good.
drops, everything. My broker put me onto him. He was like, "Listen to it." I'm like, "Okay." So
He talks like mindset and real estate and stuff.
everything,
Yeah.
mindset, real estate, his daily, just daily tasks he goes through in the morning. Some stuff I'm starting implementing myself, and I was like, you know what? This is you want to be a top producer. Listen to the top producers.
Yeah.
So.
What did he kind of add?
Something that I wasn't doing was like my schedule. I was doing, okay, this day I'll do my lead gen through cold calls. The next day I'll do my lead gen through door knocking or driving for dollars. And so he's like, no, every day I'm getting in the office, 2 hours I'm on lead gen with cold calls, 2 hours I'm door knocking every day. I'm like, okay, that's having structure like that, you know, makes life so much easier.
Yeah.
And so he just simple things like implementing that into your daily task, you know.
Wait, lead gens, like cold calls and door knocking that he does every day?
Every day,
Yeah.
2 hours each, he designates. I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, that's commitment.
that is commitment, because it's, you know, we have so many things that we do throughout our day when it comes to our clients that we already have in escrow
Yeah.
or getting them into escrow. And it's like, to implement that as well, that's 4 hours out of your day right there. So you better designate some good time for that. Make sure you have time for that.
Yeah, but I feel, consistency on those are gonna be everything. And I feel like if it's not that, then you can still do something else, but I definitely have changed, maybe not like every single day, but now I kind of have like days. So like Wednesdays and Fridays I'm doing the podcast, and it's more like I'm on the phones in the morning, and then so now I'm designated like Thursdays, Mondays I'm at home, I'm doing all the video editing, but I'm on the phones all day and I'm messaging all of my realtors.
Okay.
So now like on Thursdays, like I make sure I'm setting up my open houses for the weekend and stuff.
Right.
So that's gonna, I feel like that helps, but if it's not every day, or you can have days like when you're self-employed, but I feel like that.
It's just
Can you
creating
see
a-
yourself doing that?
It's just creating a schedule. No,
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to implement it. I heard it back, when was this? First time I heard it was probably November. I was on my way to Sacramento doing showing out there, and I was listening to my way over there. I was like, man, I need to implement that. It's just trying to get into that flow.
But
and
it's
habits.
also implementing that to do it every single day. You want to first, like, if you're not starting out at 2 hours every day, maybe do 3 days a week, get used to doing it between those times, maybe even do an hour. And then maybe like work up to it. Like a couple years ago, like I have pretty good structure at this point. Like I'm pretty organized and I'm very disciplined. But I started out, I used to make contracts to myself. Or, well, I still do, but I update them every like 3 months. But same thing with my business. It's still been hard to learn it with my business because, you know, it's harder when you're like self-employed, like trying to get everything, especially in a low market. But when you're trying to get that structure, I mean, I usually like take out a liability. So remove something that's holding you back. That's the number one. If you want to see any change before you just pack on all this work.
That's true. That's
You know,
true.
you can pack on all the work, but you're still, like, you need to remove one liability and then add two.
Okay.
Add 2 good habits. So like what he said. I don't know, but that's a lot. Like 2 hours of cold calling and door knocking. Like maybe do 1 hour of each every day, 3 days a week. Get used to it, get comfortable, and then you go like and you tell yourself,
Like slowly go in.
in a month. So you're like, okay, this month I'm gonna figure out, because first you got to figure out what time in the day is better too. That's like what I used to do when I started my contracts. I would never write it in pen. Like I would do like a rough draft for the first week, and because I would kind of have it like, okay, if I wake up at 4:30, if I do this, like, okay, I'm gonna get here at, let me see if it works. And I would use that first week kind of running it, and then little things I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that because it doesn't fit in. It's not gonna be sustainable. I'm not gonna be able to do it. So then when I get to the actual, like where I would actually sign these contracts to myself, it was like, I already tried it out. I know it works.
Yeah.
So maybe like just start.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
for sure.
I'm like, maybe just start like the go-to. Just do it.
I
Just go for it.
I hate door knocking. I
Yeah, I don't
hate
like to.
walking up and getting the door shut in my face like F off. I'm like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done the door knocking with a realtor recently. I guess not recently anymore. We probably went a while ago, but in Long Beach. No.
I do cold calls all day. But when it
Yeah.
comes to door knocking, it's like, oh, here we go again.
I just feel like it's, and
I would rather
nowadays,
door knock than cold call.
oh my
Yeah,
gosh, see,
everyone.
that's wild, yeah.
Yeah.
I would rather cold call
Yeah.
than
I
door
just
knock.
feel like, you know, for me when I cold call, I think it's easier for someone to just kind of hang up on you. But when you're like face to face in person, someone isn't. At least I have yet to experience. Like no one is just gonna be like slam the door in
Yeah.
your face. You know, they'll likely to.
Had that happen once
You're
or
like
twice.
not yet. You go not yet.
Oh.
But you know, I feel like they're more likely to at least hear you out because it's kind of like the polite thing to do. I mean, you know, you're there. Even if they still say no to you, like you still practice, you know, your spiel or whatever, you know, kind of script that you have. So I do prefer to door knock than to cold call. I hate cold calling. I will procrastinate the longest time
Yeah.
to cold call.
I like to be intentional with my calls, so I make sure the list I accumulate is someone that's actually looking or has a need to sell. So it's not really a cold call, it's like a lukewarm call, I guess, because I know
Yeah.
they need something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know they have a need, but yeah. no.
Cold
makes
calling,
sense.
yeah, I do it, but I hate it. But I am one of those people that sometimes I just wish they don't answer.
I know how you're like, please don't answer, please don't answer.
Just let me leave a voicemail.
Yeah.
I know, and that's not a cold call. Like you can't.
Yeah.
But sometimes, yeah, I
You just have
definitely
to do
don't
it. Like you said, just do the work. Just
Yeah, just do it.
whether you like it or not, just do
I
it.
mean, yeah, and there's so many different things in this industry that, you know, there's so many different types of lead gen.
Yes.
I mean, like to me, you know, creating these relationships and doing this, like this is a lead, you know, going to be or building into, it could be a lead generation at some point, or, you know, just the relationships that I build. But it's also like it takes time,
Yes.
you know, but for someone that if they did not like to be on camera or they don't vibe with people the way that I do, like that wouldn't be the way that they would do it, you know. So I feel like it's just kind of like finding when you can, or you could just put like what is that, like I'm actually going to start helping people like build these contracts, so that's why it's like fresh in my mind. But like, yeah, you could even just put the time, like prospect, you
Yeah.
know, until you figure out which one that you.
Structure is key in this industry. I do not care what anyone says. I heard a lot of agents are like, I'm successful and I free flow it every day. And yeah, it could work for a good amount of
There's
time.
I don't know.
But
I
you still
don't
have
understand.
somewhat of a structure. Even if they flow it, they still know, okay, tomorrow I'm still going to kind of do this, then do that. Like, even if you don't do it every single day at an exact time, I feel like that's structure. You go to the office at a certain time, you do your calls at a certain time. You know, some people actually have like an actual schedule,
Yeah.
but people that are just kind of flowing it, like kind of how you say, they still have somewhat of a structure in their head, whether it's, okay, I'm still going to go to the office tomorrow, maybe around 9, 10, I'm going to do my call, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So even if you don't
that
have an
whole
actual
just laying that out
schedule,
gave me anxiety.
yeah, you still
Yeah.
they still have somewhat of a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could
So-
only be so good for so long though.
Yeah.
Because after that you're like, okay, where am I at now?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, because it definitely, I mean, I do have good structure, you know, or like consistent structure, but it's still been extremely hard. I think of that sometimes too. I'm like, how is like, I know some people and you know, it's just like the energy too. I'll know instantly kind of when I meet someone, like, you know, I'm not the best with those people that are just like, hey, we're just gonna like take the day. Like,
Yeah.
that's not, you know, that's not gonna be like the best person for me, because it's just not.
Yeah.
We're not gonna align,
Yeah. Yeah. No.
because I'm gonna, you know, I'm always gonna feel that I'm always gonna be like a nagger in there. I was
Yeah.
gonna, like, come on,
Yeah.
you're slowing us down.
And that's kind of what I was on the phone yesterday with a friend, and I don't know what we were talking about. We were just kind of like,
Yeah.
you know, just discussing. And I was like, yeah, you know, I recently decided to distance myself from a few people in my life.
Yep.
Nothing personal, but, you know, I feel like it gets to a certain point where you do have to decide who you allow to have access in your life. And it's come to the point where I want to be around people that are either on the same frequency as me
Yeah.
or on a higher frequency than me, somewhere where I can learn from, and I said something like, oh yeah, you are who you kind of like hang out with.
Yeah.
And then my friend was like, actually, you become who you allow to influence you. And that kind of like hit me differently, because it is true. You can hang around with people, but they still won't really have an effect on you. And you, at the end of the day, have like say of who actually influences you, you know? So it wasn't until he said that where I was like, you're right. Just because I hang out with winners doesn't mean that I'm going to become a winner. I have to actually be open-minded to it. I have to be receiving to it. Because I can hang out with all these people all I want, but unless I'm actually being open and receiving, what they're teaching me, or even how they speak, learning from them, I'm not ever going to...
Or implementing it.
Become, exactly, or implementing it. Exactly, yes. So
100%.
Sure.
But it's the same thing. Like, yes, you have to be open to that. But if there's somebody that brings negative energy,
that's what I'm saying. You
then-
have say on who influences you.
oh yeah,
Like if
I
someone
just
is
cut-
negative.
yeah,
I
they-
also.
I won't. Yeah, like I won't. If there's any, I've even had some. Like now, it's been so much time, but I could pretty much kind of see like, I don't really trust this person. You see something of how they kind of do things where it's like,
Yeah, 100%. And that's kind
cannot,
of where
yeah.
I'm at. Like
I just cut it
there's
out.
no one in particular, but there has been people that I have been very distant from lately,
Yeah.
and I do feel like they kind of see it.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I owe an explanation.
I was
to
wondering that too, and it's
know?
harder for me like now because I'm still, well, not newer. I've been, for almost a year now, like really into, like I have been a lot into like my faith journey, but I've been, that has been something that I've had to kind of dive into and see if, like, I'm used to just cutting people off,
Yeah.
So, like, there is no, but then also when you're more, like, on your faith side, or I'm going to church all the time, it's like, love thy neighbor. Well, that is super hard for me.
Yeah.
All
You
this
can love
stuff,
from a
and I'm
distance,
trying to,
you know?
yeah. So,
Support from a
and
distance.
and I started like asking some of, more people within the church, because I'm like, what about this person? Like, I have to see them all the time. It really came over me in a big way that I don't trust them.
Yeah.
Because of, a way, like I see the manipulation now. I really don't think it's like bad. I don't think they're doing it maliciously, but because of my experience, I see it. I see the pattern.
Yes.
And I don't want any involvement. I want it completely out.
100%.
But it's like I've been at this point, I've just kind of distanced myself. However, we're still kind of like in a circle still kind of.
Right.
But then what you're saying too, you don't have to say anything.
No.
But
At the end of the day,
that's
it's
where
still
I'm
your
at,
life.
like, if I should.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, if it were to ever come up in conversation, then, that would be the opportunity for me to, I just don't think we're aligning right now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it. There's no ill will between us. It's just our paths are just not aligning right now. I support you from a distance. If we realign later down the line, great. But for now, I support you from a distance. But for me to go out of my way and be like, hey, like, I've just been distant because, like,
Yeah.
what?
Okay,
We're
I love
not in
that,
middle
yeah.
school. We're not,
Yeah.
we're adults. And I think it's normal sometimes for you to set your own boundaries.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Nothing too crazy.
How are you doing on the friend front?
Great. Yeah. No. Just I'm just really keep it around who I feel makes me grow, who I could help grow as well.
Yeah.
And
Just adding value.
Adding value for sure.
I know, it's like a pre-qualification process now. I just think of like, wait,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
I feel like I'm just
What are your
so
intentions?
entrenched with real estate that
Yeah.
everything I do involves it. So and everyone in my circle just has the same aura. We're just trying to make each other grow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not really
That's really good.
no ill will or anything like that. We're just all trying to have the same goal, and trying to get there. So
100%.
And you're fortunate to have come across people like that because, you know, in the industry, people are very sharky. And people, even though they say they want you to win, they don't want you to win. You know, it's
100%.
like, oh, I want you to win, but not more than me.
Yeah.
You know, I want you to win, yes, of course, but I don't want you to pass me. I don't want you to be better than me, you know? And that's kind of what I realized in the industry. I thought growing up Mean Girls wouldn't really be a thing. And then I entered and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta tread carefully around here, you know? So it's very few people that I have in my circle, and honestly, most of it is family.
Yeah.
You know, they're really the only ones, but yeah, I have my circle very tight.
Yeah, when you say like Mean Girls, it always like, especially if you are going around a lot or maybe a certain industry or a lot of girls, a lot of newer girls that you might not know, I always think that like what you can will be used, what you say can and will be used against you until you kind of get to know each girl or person or. Because I mean,
but some people don't even want to get to know you though.
Yeah,
I've seen that. I've seen like me go to events, and the ironic thing, it's a women's event. So you would think that the women would be more, you know, kind and welcoming and.
I think it's harder. It's harder at full like women events because there's always going to, depending on the woman, like there are so many. When it's like all boss women, I think that's great vibes, but you're still going to kind of have some in the crowd that are maybe still, you know, a little insecure and you're going to.
Well, it's the boss women that are the ones that are catty. It's actually the ones that are just starting that I'm like, oh, okay, you know, I can actually get along with them. But it's actually the women that actually host the events. The ones that I would
that you feel, and they're like bosses. But I think that's not like, because I think some women are just, you know, it could be like an insecurity thing, maybe, you know, maybe if they're new getting into a group or, but when it's that, I feel like that comes down to leadership. So there's two different types of leaders.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that lead, you know, try to lead with power and almost like bullying people and, you know, but then when you meet a different kind of leader, you will never settle for that type of leader.
Yeah.
Like once you work with somebody that helps you grow and really invest in your business, takes you seriously, and accountable everything. I mean, then it's just like anything else, you know, any type of relationship. I try to be nice to everybody, but like, don't let that fool you. Like, I am an observant. I know patterns. And I worked in the bars for like 12, 15 years. So mine's more like, I don't know, energy. I kind of put it all together. There's, you know, I've definitely been fooled, you know, a couple of times. Don't get me wrong. We're all, you know, can be rusty sometimes. But for the most part, I'm like, no. Like, I'll call it. I'm like, I'm not gonna put that time into this person. Like, more like a vibe thing.
Yeah.
But I have also been pleasantly surprised. You know, you never know. Somebody might be having a bad day.
A bad day or something, right?
But you're like, no, they were getting.
No, yeah.
But some are, when it's like that, it's just like power. But again, that stems from, and you know, we can all have that, but it's just about being aware and like, I have to manually think, especially this year in a really tough year, I've had great support here with like the broker and everything. And then sometimes I think like, man, do I show up for anybody else the way that they show up for me? Right. So they're really helping. They're also helping build like a leader out of me. Like, I hope that I can, you know, but if you haven't had that, if you've had the power, then that's, you know.
Your team makes you.
And that could be hostile. That could turn really hostile really quickly.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Well.
Good.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Now, so we can wrap up here. Why don't we just kind of, what are your like predictions a little bit of this year?
Predictions.
Money,
Where do you go
market,
first?
mindset.
Ooh, predictions for this year.
Yeah.
I predict.
Yeah.
I don't think a hot spring market. I think spring market's heating up a little bit, but I say summer market for sure gonna take off.
Yep.
It's just letting everything settle with the new, new office and see how things play out. Because that's what I hear everyone say. They were just waiting for things to play out. There's a lot of instability right now with, like I said, the 10-year
Yep.
just dropped. The stock market dropped, the crypto market dropped. So everyone's just waiting for that stability to come back
Yeah.
and feel like, hey, we could go ahead and buy.
I'm ready. I'm ready for everybody to at least like just give me like a point and a half, and I'd be really happy.
What do you think?
Honestly,
Yeah. Oh no.
I feel like it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Because we've just been waiting for the market to be better for the past 2 years.
Yeah.
We're just like, oh,
We're optimists.
COVID's over. It's gonna, there's
Yeah.
always some type of little hope that we're like, oh, it's gonna get better, and then it doesn't. So I'm hoping that it's gonna get better. Now that the elections are over, now
That's
that the
why.
holidays are over, everything's gonna, because now there's no excuses. How you were saying, first it was the holidays, and then it was the elections, and now it's like, okay, well now it's over. So what is that?
Now they want to see.
What is
but
the
now
stability.
they're
excuse?
Yeah, but I still think even the new administration, they're coming in hot. They're making
Yeah.
changes. They're fighting for stuff. So I think that's also going to
Yeah, just stability.
kick people.
Yeah.
That's going to kick it off. Like people are going to start to feel as we continue and kind of see things start clicking into place
Yeah.
that they're going to start making moves.
Yes, that's what
And
we're hoping for.
It's not really connected, Trump's trying to get the rates lowered, but technically he can't. But I don't know. I'm pulling for him. Like, just keep keep putting it on the headline. Keep throwing it out there. Keep manifesting.
Yes. Yes.
He's like, lower rates now. So I only see it pop up like every couple of days. There'll be like a headline. But that one's a little trickier because technically not really involved. But you never know,
You never
so
know.
I'm an optimist, so you're saying there's a chance.
Yes.
So I think, hopefully if we can get in those like mid, high 4s to 5s.
I'm actually scared for rates to drop for my clients because rates drop, more competition, and after that, higher prices on homes.
Yep,
And
100%.
It's like, okay, you
It's
were
gonna be
barely
harder.
gonna make it to get the house you wanted. Now you don't get the house you want. After all, you
Exactly.
gotta settle for something else. And
That's why, and we try to, I've just been
That's also
trying
kind of
to.
a little bit on them, though.
it is on
Yeah.
them, but it's
Because we're over here educating them, telling them
Yeah.
now, hey guys, you should buy now before it drops down, because then it's going to be a bidding war, and then X,
Yeah.
Y, and Z. So it also depends on us for actually genuinely educating our clients,
100%.
because then they're going to be like, oh, why didn't you tell me this? And it's like, you're right, So at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it falls on us to educate
Yes.
our clients to ensure that they're knowledgeable that now is the right time to be buying and or selling. Then later on, when the interest rates drop, then it's going to be like, dude, you should listen to me.
Yeah. And now it's more, or I tried to show them what the actual numbers would look like.
Mhm.
Like, even if they drop versus if the rates go up, or like
Yeah.
the prices go up. And then I think it's usually if the prices go up, even if the rates come down a little bit, you're either right in the same spot or spending a little more.
Yeah.
you're stuck with that bill. You're not stuck with that
Exactly.
interest rate
Yeah.
entirely. So
Mhm.
it just depends.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But let's see what this year brings.
Let's go. I got high hopes. I'm ready. I felt like 2024 was like a bridge,
Yeah.
and just plant my seeds all over the place.
Yeah.
And now we're cruising. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. I'm gonna have all their information below. It's my escrow girl. I know, the cutest. Carl. Carl is in Fresno. Sorry. Carl's in Fresno.
You're
That's my boy.
Yes.
I know. He comes, we just align it. Like, he has boys out in LA. Now he's going to San Diego. So just as he, like, comes through, makes his plans, I slip in there.
I think it's funny because if I'm right, I think we were supposed to meet yesterday.
Yes.
No? Yeah, right? And it's funny because
Oh my gosh,
something
how
had
funny.
happened yesterday we weren't able to meet. And then when you're like, oh, so-and-so and Carl, and I was like, I wonder if it's the same Carl. And then I
That is
came in and I was like, oh my god, hi!
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Yeah, so it kind of worked out. I was able to
Oh,
connect
there
with him
you
today.
go.
Mhm.
Okay. See,
No.
I'm just always bringing people together. I will take credit for this, even though you guys already had some pain.
I want to see if I could work with Michael too.
Yes.
Michael.
I will get you.
10 years in. he said.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he is all out in Newport.
Yes, he's specifically in Newport.
Like I said, I'm
Yes.
trying to get into this market and trying to really
Yes.
build my
Yeah.
network here.
And he has built. He did a really good job. But like he was saying, he does a lot of the mindset work and all that stuff. But he also did. He spent a lot of that time building like more of his brand and pretty much labeled himself in Newport.
Mhm.
So, and I have followed him maybe close to like 2 years. So it's been really incredible too to see what he has.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm Carl, the California Realtor. So
Yeah.
I
Let's
sold
go.
houses up north, Central Valley, and I'm trying to move down here and
That's
try
a
to
good.
get something.
Yeah, you got to
going
come
down
to
here.
OC.
Yeah, so let's see what happens.
All right. And I will have all their information below. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. Bye.
Bye.